be astonished.
That's right. That signifies the return of the Marty Monologues with Marty Wombacher of the wildly popular blog, Meanwhile Back in Peoria. And get my dial pad pulled up, get the phone ringing, get Marty on the hook here. See what he's got for us this week. Come on.
Come on, Marty.
Hello, this is Mr. Dick speaking.
Well, good evening, Mr. Dick. How are you?
Hey, what's going on, guys? It's been quite a while since we've talked.
Yeah, hasn't it? Well, I just got done eating that last piece of Hawaiian pizza. The old lady saved me a piece.
That food, I'm saving mine for lunch tomorrow. That was such a good lunch. And thanks, guys, for coming out. It was really great to meet you guys.
Oh, for sure, man. We're quite thankful to you as well. And yeah, at the beginning of the show, I was telling, Vic and I were talking about lunch today, and I was telling our listeners that, quite often people are different, And when we met you, Marty, it's the same Marty Wombacher that we get on the show every Sunday night.
Hey, the same for you guys. I know exactly what you mean. I've met people that are either in media or whatever, like you say, and then you meet them in person, and it's like, wow, is that all an act that you're putting on? Or
right? Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird. So, no, it was great to meet you guys. You're just like you are on air, too.
Well, dude, we appreciate that. And, again, we had a great time this afternoon. And,
Me too.
we always look forward to bringing you on the show because we never really quite know what we're going to get, man. And it's always
I never know what I'm going to do. I thought it was funny. I thought it was funny what Vic Nasty said about me doing something dickish, because I get that sometimes. Way back, it made me think, when I was living in New York, I was doing a magazine called Fish Wrap. Next time we meet, I'll bring you guys some of this stuff. But the magazine was different. I mean, I wrote it kind of from a point of view of like almost a character that was really pissed off at everything. It was mainly directed at the world of magazines. Well, I kind of had a semi-date with this girl. She wrote for Entertainment Weekly, and she really liked Fish Wrap, thought I was funny, so we agreed to meet at a bar. And halfway through, she said it was the funniest thing that somebody's ever said to me. She's like, boy, it's really been nice to meet you. She said, I thought you'd really be just a huge asshole. Like, wow, no one's ever said that to me before. She said, well, no, you're just so vile and mean in Fish Wrap. And I was like, well, that's just kind of a character almost. So, yeah, it was funny when Vic said that.
I was like, Marty, I was rooting for you. I'm like, come on, Marty, we got to see some dickish shit right here now. Come on, give it to me.
That's funny. Hey, one thing I thought we'd talk about. Well, one thing I just thought I'd kind of talk about, I really hadn't planned anything. I've been so busy today doing stuff. I'm working on my blog for tomorrow. Yeah, the Art Lunch, and everybody listening, if they want to see it captured in pictures, is going to be on Tuesday's blog. I always put the thing on Tuesday.
So today's visit at Hammers will be on Tuesday.
Right. Tomorrow is on Monday. I always have my Saturday night dinner, which I went to Sugar. Have you guys ever eaten at Sugar?
No.
Wow, it's so good. It's on Adams. Do you know about it?
Yeah, I'm familiar with it. I've never been there, and unfortunately in that area right now, parking is very limited.
Well, you say that, but you can park in the back there. If you pull right in the back,
really?
A lot of times they have like at least I think 4 spaces up front, and you can also, where I usually park when I go there, is over, if you just go down the road, you take a left at the light, and you're always in front of Dozer Park. There's always places to park.
Oh, yeah, right there on Oak Street.
Yeah, and I mean, it's like if you park in front of Dozer Park, I did last night, it's like a 2-minute walk over there.
Yeah, I'd never thought of that. And, I've heard nothing but good things about the place, man.
Oh,
great food.
It's so good. You can see it'll be on my blog tomorrow. I'm working on the pictures right now, and I'm getting hungry just looking at the pictures. But one thing I thought I'd touch on, yesterday was my 2-year anniversary of moving back to Peoria. And I was just thinking about it all weekend. It was like two years ago. I mean, moving back here was just as scary as it was to move to New York. And both of them turned out great. I mean, we'll see what happens after 18 more years here. What I always tell people, I lived in New York for 19 years, And 18 years, I had 18 really, really good and fun years. I loved it out there. My last year was horrible. I mean, it sucked. I lost my job. They moved to Carlstadt, New Jersey. There's no fucking way. And I don't know if you're familiar with New Jersey at all, but this place is like the armpit of the world. My boss said, oh, you know, it was a 2-hour commute each way.
Yuck.
And I'm like, I'm not going. My boss really wanted me to go because I was kind of a workhorse for them. I worked a ton of overtime. And I'm like, I'm not going to Carlstadt. And he's like, well, I said, I'm not commuting 2 hours. That's 4 hours a day. And sometimes I was working 12 to 14 hours a day. He said, well, you know, this place is cheaper there. You ought to just move there. You could, you know, take the train into Manhattan when you want to go. I'm like, fuck no. It's like the armpit of the world. So I didn't go. And I was, first time in my life, I never collected unemployment. I've had a job since I've been 16. And it was just so weird to be unemployed. And in this day and age, I don't know the last time you guys looked for a job. Has it been a while,
man.
It's been a while.
Okay, well, I hadn't. The last time I did was when I moved to New York, and again, it's the way you get jobs these days. It was a guy that I knew who knew an editor for a paper I was writing for, knew somebody, and I got on at this graphics place, and I pretty much worked there the whole time. It got bought out by other companies, but all of a sudden I'm in New York. It was February, I remember, and I was out of work and applying for like anything, and couldn't find work. Nobody was. I would spend every day at least 4 hours online on Monster.com and all that bullshit, filling out applications and applications online. Sometimes it's like 6 pages. They want to know everything under the sun about you now.
Oh,
and
dude.
Just
I've filled out some weird applications in my life.
Yeah. Well, and then you do it for like a week, and you think, wow, well, I'm going to start getting some emails or phone calls. And with this wall of silence that hits you, it's just like, it was really unnerving. Because I'm like, after like 2 months, I heard nothing. And I'm doing this every day. And it was just like, it was really depressing. I tell people New York is a great town to live if everything's going your way, which for 18 years it did for me. I did this magazine, Fish Rat, that was kind of a cult hit. I did a book, I did this and that. I did my 365 Bars blog, which really took off. So I did a lot of shit there. And all of a sudden, it was just like the train stopped in its tracks. And I really did get depressed. It was just, what I was saying is I always tell people New York's a great town when things are going your way, but when things are not going your way, it is one gloomy, scary, depressing place. Because you just start thinking, I'm going to be broke here in about a half a year because money goes so fast when you're not working there. I was getting unemployment, but that just pretty much covered my rent and maybe like one of my bills. And so money's flying out the door. And it did. It took me, I got a job at another print place that just sucked. It was a real sweatshop. And I realized this is like, I don't know, now we're into like August. And I'll never forget, on the Friday night, I left work, and I was like, fuck it, I went back on Monday and just quit. I'd only been there for a week, so I didn't feel bad about not giving notice, but I just said, I don't want to do this shit anymore. And he's like, well, the guy who was my manager, he said, well, what are you going to do? And I did. I don't think I'd even thought about it before that, and it just kind of came out of my mouth. I said, I think I'm going to move back to my hometown of Peoria. And he's like, what? I said, I think I'm going to move back there. You can live a lot easier. Been here long enough. And I did. I went home and I called my parents, talked to them. They were real happy I was coming back, but they're like, are you sure you want to do this? And I said, yeah, I'm not happy out here, and I'm going to be broke in about 6 months. And my unemployment was going to run out in like another half a year. And it was super scary, but I never talk about where I work on my blog. I'm not going to do it here, but my cousin works for some place, and I wanted to get a second shift job. One thing I didn't know, one thing I thought I could probably do, and I researched it, and I saw there's a lot of blogs here in Peoria, but nobody was doing a daily blog that's updated every day and doing a fun kind of a thing. I just couldn't find one. And I thought, well, Jesus, maybe I could go back there, do a blog, and have it be really successful and have a lot of fun while doing it. But I needed like a second shift job. Well, I called where this guy that I kind of knew, my cousin worked for him, called there. He's like, when are you coming back? Just turned out there was an opportunity. I said, I think I'm going to move back sometime beginning of October. Well, it was October 18th it turned out to be. He said, you're not going to believe this, but I think I got something for you. So it was, everything just clicked moving back here. Kind of like when I moved to New York, things kind of fell into place going out there. But it was, well, the thing about moving to New York as opposed to moving back here, once you leave New York, at least in my case, there's no going back. I had a rent-stabilized apartment. I mean, you can't move to New York without a job and rent an apartment. You just can't do it. No one would rent.
Oh, no, the cost of living out there has got to be just astronomical compared to here.
Well, I had a rent-stabilized apartment, which people would kill for, and I was paying $1,100 a month for it. I mean, in a tiny little shoebox in an old place. So there was no going back, and I do remember thinking, well, if it sucks, I'm depressed here, and my money, at least the money will last a little longer. And
go a little further.
And this job that I got, I thought it'd be perfect because it's not something that's too taxing. It's kind of, like I said, I don't want to talk about my work, but let's just say it's kind of on the janitorial side of things, so it's not brain surgery. And I thought, well, you know, it doesn't pay great, but I can live on it. I mean, my rent here is, I'm paying $500 a month now. So it is moving back here. It's just, and moving back, it was just such a. I'd been gone for 19 years, and when I would come home, it would usually just be Christmas, to where I'd hang out at my parents' house. I didn't drive, so I couldn't drive around. I just wasn't buying a lot of stuff. And my dad's an old school kind of guy. Whenever we go out to eat, I mean, there's no way he's going to let me pick up the bill.
Right.
So he just is that kind of a guy. So I hadn't really bought anything in Peoria, and I started going out, and it was just like, I'd go out to get something to eat, and I'd get the check and just be like, seriously? This is all it is? And I feel really grateful that it's been 2 years now, and I was nervous about everything. The job worked out. I mean, it's a job. It's not like I love it, but that pays the rent. Been there now for 2 years, so I'm pretty solid in with this company. And the best thing of all was the blog. And anybody listening that reads my blog, I really want to say that I appreciate it, because I work really hard at it, but it's really been so nice to have this huge audience that has built up. I mean, you saw it today. I went in to Hammers. You know, it's fun. I was telling you today, too, I kind of call it improv journalism, because you just never know what's going to happen. And for some reason, I don't know, because of the name Hammers, I was in there once, and it was a little rough. This is like 2 years ago. It was just a little rougher when the last time I was in there. There were some bikers in there, which, you know, is no big deal, but well, I just thought of another story after this. I was driving there. I just thought, I got a feeling this just isn't going to go good. I just had a feeling they weren't going to like me doing the blog in there. And as soon as I walked in, I took a picture, and a guy did a double take. He's like, "Holy shit! I read your blog every day." I said, "Oh, really?"
Oh, yeah.
And Brad heard it, and so it just kind of made everything go really smoothly. And it was cool. I thanked the guy. And I said, "Well, geez, you know, thanks for reading the blog." And then Brad knew right off the bat that, you know, probably a lot of people look at it, so that helped out. And I think it's just going to be a good post. But doing the blog has been, I mean, it's been December 10th. It'll be 2 years, and I've done a post every single day. So I can't even begin to tell you all the people that I've met in 2 years. Because like today, I met the guy at the bar, Travis. We had a conversation before you guys got there. Met the bartender who wouldn't let me take her picture. Met Brad. Every time I go out somewhere, I meet at least between 3 to half a dozen people and have conversations with them. Like after you guys left, I had a really nice conversation with Brad. And
he's a great dude, man.
Yeah, and that's what's so fun about doing the blog. And you were talking earlier with the musician about Peoria, and, you know, it is, you know, you get what you give out there. And that is the way it is. I mean, the story I thought of when I said the biker bar, I was in, I did a pizza thing at AmVets. You ever been? Not AmVets, Veterans Pub and Pizza.
Yeah, down there on 2525 Adams.
Yeah, exactly. I went there to do my pizza thing, and I went in, and it was a little, I could kind of tell, the bartender was okay with it, she let me take her picture, but she wasn't too thrilled or anything, and nobody at the bar seemed too excited that I was there. And I'm walking around taking pictures, and there's kind of a burly guy that was maybe 3 seats down from me, and he kept just staring at me, kind of in a rough-looking guy.
Right.
And I thought, I hope he didn't give me shit. So I'm taking pictures. I sit down, and they bring, like, the hot sauce. I take a picture of the hot sauce. Now he, like, kind of yells. He turns and yells at me. He's like, hey, what the fuck are you doing? I said, I'm taking pictures. He's like, you're taking pictures of every fucking thing in here. He says, who do you work for? I said, I work for, and I told him the name of my company. He's like, can they pay you to take pictures? I said, no, now I'm kind of getting pissed. And I'm like, even though this guy could kick the living shit out of me.
Right.
Yeah, I say to him, I said, look, nobody's paying me to take pictures. I do this for myself. He's like, you're taking pictures of fucking hot sauce to do what? I said, I've got a blog. And then he looked real funny, and he said, what's your blog? I said, it's called Meanwhile Back in Peoria. He walked over and shook my hand. He said, holy shit, I love that blog. He said, I got turned on to that by somebody. I mean, all of a sudden, he's buying me a beer, and he's got his arm around me. It went from, I thought, this could really go bad for me.
It's going to get ugly.
To where this guy is now my best buddy. So it's just, you never know. When you walk in the door, we talked about this before, too. You talked about it before you do the show. Every day, and it happened at Hammers, I'll take, like, photos of the outside, and I'll start getting butterflies in my stomach. And then I walk in the door, and that's when all the shit starts to unravel, and it's almost always good. Sometimes it gets a little scary, like with that guy, because I thought, well, you know, he swings a punch at me, I'm just going to try and kick him in the balls. And
and run like hell.
Get to my car. I've done it before. So I've been really thankful. Because, you know, like, I've met you guys, and I think more people should do stuff. More people are, when we're talking about the money end of things today, I think people are dictated by money, and if you're not going to make money, they don't do it. Because more people have said to me, and I mean, I said it to you guys too, it's like, so you're making money doing this? And when I tell people no, it's like, well, then why do you want to do it? And it's like, why wouldn't I? I'm meeting people, I'm having fun, it's a good excuse to do stuff. I always say one of the reasons that I got into writing was because it's an excuse to let you do anything.
Pretty much,
you can say to somebody, I'm writing a story on it. Back when I was doing my magazine, People of Peoria, I did a story called One French Fry. I was trying to think of weird shit to do, and I went to restaurants and ordered. You never see a lone French fry until you're done eating it. So I went to, like, Paparazzi. They made a big presentation for me. I went to, like, 6 restaurants and ordered one French fry. And at first it'd be like, they'd be like, what are you talking about? I said, I want to order one French fry. I'll pay for the whole order. I just want you to cook one, though. It'd be like, why? And then I'd say, well, I'm the editor of People of Peoria. And then immediately they knew what it was.
Right.
Oh, yeah, we've seen your magazine. I said, well, this is for an article I'm doing. Oh, okay. Like, I remember, like, Paparazzi, they made this big presentation out of it. But if you didn't have a magazine or you weren't writing a story, they'd just tell you to get the fuck out of there.
Get lost.
Yeah, but so if you say you're writing or you're doing a blog, it unlocks so many doors and it allows you to do so many things that in life you'd never would do. So it's like, yeah, you know, if I could make $1 million a year doing it, we're not somebody that would throw away. I'm not one of these guys that's, you know, pretentious or, this is my art. I have no way am I going to take money for this. Now I take it in a heartbeat that these people that say, you know, what, you know, you're making money. I don't understand why you want to do it. Well, those are the people that work some shitty job like I work, and then go home, you know, stare at their computer or TV, go to sleep, get up, do the same thing, and then moan and bitch every day how it sucks here and there's nothing to do.
And that's just it, Marty, with us. You know, I mean, if we never make a dime doing this, you know, it's not going to break my heart because, as you do with your blog, it's something that I like to do, and I get the opportunity to talk to and meet so many different people.
Oh yeah,
and especially now that, you know, I've started to reach out to, you know, a lot of these national touring music acts and these nationally published authors, and you know, I get the opportunity now to talk to some people that you'll never get the chance to talk to.
Exactly.
You know,
and that's how
that's
great
what
is
I love
that?
about it. Fucking right. It's awesome.
It may not pay Silco, but it does pay, even if it makes you feel good about yourself or it lets you be heard.
Yeah. You can voice your opinion, and, I mean, you know, I always say, too, anybody you talk to for more than 15, 20 minutes, unless you're an absolute idiot, you're going to learn something.
Yep. Well, and as I mentioned at the beginning of the show, talking about our lunch today, you know, I'm so thankful to have you as a part of this show and finally getting a chance to meet you because, you know, we talk and you give me advice. And, you know, you've been in the business a lot longer than I have, and you have a lot more experiences that I have. And if I can learn anything from you, man, I'm like a fucking sponge.
Oh, well, hell, I'll tell you what. You stick with me, and you'll be broke in about 2 years. I'll teach you.
Too late, Marty. Too fucking late, Marty.
I'll teach you how to lose everything.
We're like fucking barnacles, man. We're hard to shake off.
I know. I can't quit doing it. You know, somebody said to me, well, because I'm trying to get some advertising going on my blog, and it's going okay, but I don't have a lot of time to do it. And somebody said to me, well, if you can't really start making a lot of money off of it in like 2 years, are you just going to quit? And I'm like, no, because I can't quit. I can't stop doing it. I can't. I mean, when I kind of got hooked onto this lifestyle when I was doing my 365 Bars blog, and I think we've talked about this. When that was all done, it was like, oh, fuck, finally. I'm just going to take it easy for like 3 months. And I mean, after 2 nights, I'm not bored. I was like climbing the walls. It was like, God, I got to do. Immediately, I invented another blog called Marty After Dark, and I started, you know, putting that together, designing it, and then about a month after the 365 Bars thing folded, I started a brand new blog in New York.
Oh, no rest for the wicked.
Hey,
no,
Marty After Dark seems like it might involve webcams and Vaseline.
Well, we won't get into that.
That's another topic for another show.
Oh yeah, it's a whole nother one.
Well, listen, Marty, we've just got a minute or two left with you.
Okay.
All night long we've been talking about Meanwhile back in Peoria.com. I just wanted to give you these last minute or two, throw any shout-outs or, you know, anything else out there that you want our listeners to know.
They ought to stop by Hammers in Bartonville. It was a great lunch we had today, and I've never been in there. The Brad who owns it is a super nice guy, and that's what I think. Too many people don't go out. Too many people have the one-day place they go to, then they go home, then they go back to it again the next night. Go out and explore this city, and go to Bartonville, go to Pekin, find other stuff to do. That's my message for the night.
Hey, man. Well, Marty, as always, it's a blast when we bring you on the show, and we can't thank you enough for being a part of our show each and every Sunday night.
Thank you guys. Having a lot of fun doing it. It's great to talk to you.
Marty. It was great having lunch with you, Marty, and I can't wait to read your blogs you put up this coming week.
Oh, good. Well, now you're putting the pressure on me. I hope I live up to it.
Yeah, buddy.
The pressure's always there, Marty. I've been shining a light on it.
Exactly. That's good. That's a good little motto there, Vic.
All right. Well, Marty, for myself and Vic Nasty and everybody listening tonight, again, we want to say thank you, sir. You take care, be well, and we'll talk at you next Sunday.
Okay, sounds good, guys. Thanks. We'll see you in a little bit.
Later on. You're welcome.
See ya. Bye.